Hello, friends. So, Bible study, the NIV, John, chapter 12, 1 through 19 today. It's going to go through two different parables. The first parable here is called Jesus Anointed at Bethany. 6 days before the Passover. So remember, Passover happens right before Easter. So we're talking, springtime. Okay. Jesus arrived at Bethany, where Lazarus lived, whom Jesus had raised from the dead. So he had left, and now he was coming back. He was going to spend Passover Seder with these particular people. Here, a dinner was given in Jesus' honor. Martha served, and Lazarus was among those reclining at the table with him. Then Mary took out a pint of pure nard, which is spikenard. Okay, spikenard helps reconnect us to the divine. It's also used during burial process. Usually myrrh is also anointed with this. It was an expensive perfume, but she poured it out on Jesus's feet and wiped his feet with her hair. And the house was filled with the fragrance of the perfume, which is actually a very delightful smell. I have spikenard, I have frankincense and myrrh. I've got all the things that they list in the Old Testament. It's that ordained minister stuff. We actually have things we have to do with those stuff. It's pleasing aromas to the Lord, or part of how you get him to listen to you in the first place. Frankincense and myrrh specifically, they open up your pineal gland. They have a neurochemical effect on your brain that opens your brain in different ways, so that you have a more spiritual effect. That's why they burn them in temples and churches and etc. I recommend you burn them in your home. I burn them in my home daily, so it'll help you. Minimally, it also works like like people know how sage works and stuff like it. It works like that too. It'll clean out any negative energies. But one of his disciples, Judas Iscariot, who was later to betray him, objected. Why wasn't this perfume sold and the money given to the poor? It was worth a year's wages. He did not say this because he cared about the poor, but because he was a thief. As the keeper of the money bag, he used to help himself to what was put into it. So you have to just imagine, these are tithes, right? These are people's donations to Jesus because he's amazing. So what he's saying, he's stealing from the church. Meanwhile, a large crowd of Jews found out that Jesus was there and came not only because of him, but also to see Lazarus, who he had raised from the dead. So the chief priests made plans to kill Lazarus as well, for on the account of him, many Jews were going over to Jesus and putting their faith in him. So, oh no, right? He did this thing. We have to get rid of his proof that he is the Messiah. So we'll get a little more into why that is at the end of the next parable, which is the triumphal entry. Verse 12. The next day, the great crowd that had come for the feast heard that Jesus was on his way to Jerusalem. So they took palm branches and went out to meet him, shouting, Hosanna! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the King of Israel. Jesus found a young donkey and sat upon it, as it was written, Do not be afraid, O daughter of Zion. See, your king is coming, seated on a donkey's colt. Now that in particular comes from, looks like Zechariah 9, chapter 9, verse 9. So a prophet speaking terms. at first his disciples did not understand all of this. Only after Jesus was glorified did they realize that these things had been written about him, and that he had done these, and they had done these things to him. Now the crowd that was with him when he called Lazarus from the tomb and raised him from the dead continued to spread the word. Many people, because they had heard that he had given this miraculous sign, went out to meet him. So the Pharisees said to one another, "See, this is getting us nowhere. Look how the whole world has gone after him." So what we're dealing with right here, and in the chapter before, is what we call in science is confirmation bias. They're not looking for the signs that he is the Messiah. They're looking for the signs of things that say we can kill him, so people don't follow him, so that our power is intact, and so the Romans don't try to take away our faith. There wouldn't actually be any contention if they just went, "Hey, look, our Messiah's here." Right? And if they made that kind of statement and proclaimed that to the rest of the Jews, all the rest of the Jews would get on board, and there would also be no riot, because it would just be wonderful faith. Because he's not actually there to be the warrior king. But the people are looking for the warrior king. The Pharisees are concerned that they're going to try to throw out the Romans and be unsuccessful. And then the Romans are going to come in and take everything away, because they're not wanting to see him as the Messiah. They were not looking at the actual work he did. They were not looking at the work he did and seeing, does this line up with what the prophet said the Messiah would do, to see if it was a yes. They're only looking at it in one lens. That's confirmation bias. So, as we go about the world today, let's not look at the world from only one lens. Let's actually ask lots of questions, and then let us be led to what is the truth. The beautiful news about the way this world is set up, and the way that we are all part of a tribe, is that you are actually not responsible for knowing how to do everything, know everything, or be perfect. Isn't that wonderful news? You're allowed to have flaws and need other people, and to interact with the people. And the people you need on the days you need them will be sent to you. And you don't actually have to do anything for that but exist. I think that's a great relief. You don't have to be perfect. You can just be the best version of the you that you can be in any one given moment is a blessing. If you get too much in the hyper-independence factor, expect the Creator will give you a reminder of why you're part of a pack. Or at least that's what I've consistently found in my life. And I do suffer from overachiever and perfectionism. Toxic overdoer. Definitely in there. Okay, so I send you all blessing and love. Let's try to stay in the light and love. You don't have to be perfect, and don't be afraid to rely on your people around you.